Just a couple of weeks ago, the Israeli military, the IDF, admitted that famed journalist Shireen Abu Akleh was likely killed by an IDF bullet. Now, this is something the world already knew, really, but it's good to see the IDF admit it. It always amazes me when the military does something awful, truly insanely awful, and then they act like they need months to review it, to review the situation. You know, they're standing there with bodies of dead school kids around them, and they're holding a smoking gun, and they're like, we need to do a thorough investigation. We've got guys with glasses on who will come here and they'll analyze things, and then we'll get back to you in roughly a year and a half after anyone cares about this story anymore. It's like if Mike Tyson bit Holyfield's ear off and then said, hold on, we need to do an investigation into what happened here. We need to form a committee to write a report. Let's not jump to any conclusions. You might want to put that on ice. And this is just the latest well-known event of the Israeli military murdering journalists. You see, the IDF has a long, impressive history of war crimes and morally bankrupt behavior. They're like Bill Bryson, except instead of charming, best-selling books with light British humor, they have a long list of child murders. Even the UN found the IDF deliberately shot children a few years ago on the Gaza border, which is fucking horrific. But isn't it interesting that we're far more upset when they kill innocent children and innocent adults? I mean, like, if you're murdering innocent people, all of them should be bad, not just the short ones. Sorry, kids. IDF war crimes have become so common that many hardly take notice anymore. As major newspaper Haaretz put it, such acts have become the norm. And it's not like you have to do anything to end up attacked by the Israeli military. One journalist was arrested the other day for posting on Facebook. So you may wonder, if the Israeli military is involved in so many disgusting acts, how do they manage to get millions of Israelis to sign up to do it? Well, it's not that hard. Military service is mandatory in Israel. They don't have a choice. By the way, we really need to stop calling it service. That implies that every action by a soldier is a service. But I don't feel like bombing villages, arresting peaceful activists, and intentionally killing unarmed children should be listed as just a service we provide. I mean, you don't pull up to a car wash and they go, not only do we wash your car, but we also give the interior that new car smell, and then we murder some children. And you're like, wow, what a full-service car wash. I'm really impressed. Point being, the reason Israel has enough military personnel to keep their apartheid state going is that they make it mandatory. However, an increasing number of young people are actually refusing to serve, or whatever you want to call it. They're refusing to be hitmen for the state, basically. The magazine 972 interviewed some of these teens taking a stand and saying refusing is the minimum of what they can do. Of course, the Israeli state won't let them off the hook that easy, right? They are typically tried at a recruitment center and sentenced to prison terms of between 10 and 21 days. Upon their release, they are called to report back to the recruitment center, where they usually announce again that they still refuse to enlist. Thus, refuseniks, as they're called, can often spend months in prison over several consecutive periods. Ah, how wonderfully catch-22 of you, Israel. They lock you up in prison for refusing to murder and maim innocent people. Must be some awkward conversations in prison. What are you in for? Refusing to murder innocent people. What are you in for? Murdering innocent people. Man, guess you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Here are some of the reasons these brave teenagers gave for refusing to join the IDF. One said, I realized there was no way I could serve in an army that for decades has been responsible for a violent regime. Another stated, if I join the army, regardless of the role, I am still part of an organization that has been oppressing the Palestinians for decades. Another said, the main goal of the army is the ethnic cleansing of non-Jews. This is something I cannot abide by, neither ideologically nor morally. So basically, these teenagers have decided they don't want to be a part of a racist, oppressive, sometimes murderous organization. That sounds incredibly rational. That sounds more rational than most adults I know. In fact, wasn't that what most of us believe young Nazi soldiers should have done? Not follow orders? Not just go along with war crimes? Actually take a second and go, this seems not right. I appreciate the offer, but yeah, I'm not gonna shoot that kid. Yeah, I really, that's really kind of you to offer, but I'm good. I'm good though. Yeah, thanks. I'm good. No, I'm trying to quit actually. Trying to quit killing children. Maybe because refusing to serve is so moral and rational, maybe that's why it's growing in popularity, and that's why the Israeli government is trying to cover up that it actually is going on. Kind of like how supporting free healthcare in the United States is growing in popularity, and the mainstream media has to crush that idea. There aren't any logical arguments against free healthcare, so the people propping up the status quo have to rely on a witch's brew of tricks and bullshit. That's all they have left. Kind of like Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil and any of the other scam artists Oprah Winfrey is responsible for creating. Huh, I never realized that. She's like the Dr. Frankenstein of charlatans, and we act like she's fucking Maya Angelou. One other important point one of the teenagers made was army service made our society very militaristic. All the adults were in the army, and this greatly affects the conduct of the society. Yeah, you think? How about that for something Israelis should be considering? Every goddamn person walking around has had top level military indoctrination for years. Imagine how much that must impact their national dialogue, their national mindset. Here, to help you understand, let's take away the military and all the patriotism crap. What if every American had to spend 3 years in like Scientology or working at like a Ren fair or something? The whole society would come out with their brain matter all just screwed up, just a pile of mush. Everybody carrying around lanterns and wearing cod pieces and shit. Having an entire society brainwashed by a single organization is completely fucked up. And the fact that it's an organization responsible for a long list of crimes against humanity is even worse than the knights and the fancy lads and shit. So if you're in Israel and thinking of refusing the mandatory military kidnapping that goes on, there are groups that will actually support you. The 4 teenagers are being supported by Messar Vote, a grassroots network that brings together individuals and groups who refuse to enlist in the Israeli army in protest of the occupation. That's all for now, but the most censored news comes out twice a week. Get all the new episodes at youtube.com/behindtheheadlines and follow all my work at leecamp.net. Until next time, keep fighting.